Getting gifts has always a nice feeling, and in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald are a lot of gifts, like the starter Pokemon Treecko, Torchic and Mudkip, a Wynaut, one of the fossils for Lileep and Anorith, Castform and Beldum. At least Beldum is after the Elite Four. Here are the rules. I received the second Pokemon at the 4th badge, but this Pokemon challenge will be brutal. But let's begin. There are 3 starter Pokemon to choose from, but only one will make the run manageable, and that is Mudkip. While Treecko and Torchic are amazing Pokemon, I will need a water type for the late game, and that means Mudkip it is. The first gym battle is in Rustboro City against Roxanne, who specializes into rock types. This is actually the best case for Mudkip. First is Geodude, I use one water gun and that Geodude is defeated. Next is another Geodude and I got Bite via level up, maybe that's good against the last one. Roxanne's ace is Nosepass and I use Bite, but that mono rock type only used one rock tomb and didn't want to attack any further. So I decided to spam water gun instead. It takes a while, thanks to 2 potions and an orange berry, but the end is very clear. Nosepass will go down. Roxanne is defeated, and the experience was actually enough to let Mudkip evolve into Marshtomp. This Pokemon looks amazing, but the rival has a Treecko, which is now double super effective. That will be brutal. And I'm already at the second gym leader after Mr. Briny shipped me over to Dewford Town. Brawly is an interesting character, his team is very one-dimensional. If I had a ghost type, this battle would be over immediately. Marshtomp had some issues, and I even needed to level up before this battle, because getting so many hits in is too much. My damage looks fine, but I didn't really heal up. Granted, I forgot to add an orange berry, but I'm not sure it would have been enough. Brawly uses 2 super potions and my best move deals about half, but doesn't hit every time. In this specific battle, I got lucky in the end with a critical hit at the right time to beat Makuhita before it was too late. Brawly has a new badge for me and I can move on to Slateport City. The next major battle is brutal, because Marshtomp is double weak to grass. Even if some random trainer has a Shroomish, it's already super dangerous. I really need a second Pokemon. After playing the Deliveryman to deliver the ship parts, the way to Morvis City opened up. Well, and this one rival battle is still in the way, but I cannot ignore it anymore and we fight. May starts with Wingull, I need 2 tackle to KO and it's quite important that Wingull does not use Supersonic. Now comes the big issue Grovyle. I cannot do anything here besides pressing on Bite and hope for the best. I had a lot of tries because the damage is not fixed and I need to survive long enough. This try I even go down to 1 HP before Bite hits back and KOs Grovyle easily. Last is Magma, but I have 1 water gun to KO. The battle was brutal, May is defeated and I had to overlevel quite a lot to get it done. Arriving in Morvis City is quite similar to the arrival in Celadon or Goldenrod City. I get a lot of good stuff like the bike, a new HM Rock Smash and trade in a Harbor Mail for the coin case. Also, here's the next gym. The gym leader Watson likes to use electric type Pokemon, which is a welcome sign for my Marshtomp, who is part ground. Being immune to electric type attacks is very good, but it's still only 1 Pokemon and it needs to take every hit. For example, Voltorb Self-Destruct already took a huge chunk out of the HP, but Mudshot is good enough to KO everyone, besides Manectric. But it was enough damage that even the Citrus Berry didn't bring it out of range. And in the end, Watson goes down while Marshtomp came out on top. I'm already at 3 badges, it's not that long anymore until I get the next teammate. After traveling first to Fellowwood Town and then to the Meteor Falls to eavesdrop on the conversation what is to come next. Apparently they want to do something bad at Mount Chimney, so that's the next destination. At the top of Mount Chimney is the first battle against the leader of Team Magma. Maxi has a team which is very weak to Marshtomp, but I needed a lot of tries because of my Diana. I can use Sand Attack which will destroy my accuracy, but in this try I got lucky and a critical hit ended my Diana way before any super potions could be used. Zubat is even worse, thanks to Supersonic, but sometimes it does absolutely nothing. It's scary regardless. Last is Camerupt and it is double weak to water type attacks and it still survived the water gun, even if barely. Another hit after 1 super potion finally KOs the fire type Pokemon. Max is defeated and he will run away, but leaves a lot of stuff behind. Most importantly, the Meteorite, which I could trade in for TM return later on. Down the jagged pass into Lavaridge town. This is home to the next gym leader, and this nice old lady has a gift for me, a Pokemon egg. I wonder what could be inside. After biking for an extremely long time, it finally hatches, and it is a Wynaut. I genuinely never used it before, so I might not know how it can contribute to the major battles ahead. But it doesn't have any attacking moves so far, which means it has to travel with EXP share for a long while. The next gym leader in Lavaridge town is Flannery, and she specializes in fire-type Pokemon. The perfect type for my water and ground Marshtomp. But it wasn't so clear to win, even with that high of a level. Of course, Numel and Slugma have no chance. But Camerupt does survive a water gun and could use Attract, which would heavily dampen my ability to close out the battle. But it used Tackle and goes down after several hits, thanks to Hyper Potions. Flannery's Ace Torchic is a bit different. It could use Attract and remove the ability to cleanly win, and also have Body Slam paralyze me, but I have a Cherry Berry to remove the paralysis in the end. If Body Slam ever paralyzes, Flannery loses quite easily and I get the 4th badge already. This wasn't a battle for Wynaut, so I didn't use it here. After leaving the arena, May is here to give me the Go Goggles, which allow me to see inside the desert part of the region. While here I beat up some trainer to look for the Mirage Tower, since I'm too stupid to read how to find it. And Wynaut evolves into Wobbuffet, which is a fan favorite Pokemon thanks to the anime. I hope I get at least one useful battle, especially considering it was banned for several competitive Pokemon events in the past. But for a different reason. At the top of Mirage Tower are 2 fossils. I can get one now, and I decided for the root fossil. I hope I won't regret it, but I have a feeling a grass-type Pokemon will be a great asset. In Rustboro City at the Devon Corporation is a scientist who can revive fossils, and when I did, I received Lileep, the grass and rock type Pokemon. With a little bit of setup, I try to battle the gym leader in Petalburg City, Norman, and as his name suggests, he trains only normal type Pokemon. I'm curious, is this a stage name or did he change his name later on? But regardless, he starts with Spinda and I go with Marshtomp. Secret Power does about half, and while Tita Dance confuses me, I have a Person Berry ready to remove it. Another hit and Spinda is down. Next is Rigoroth, and this is a bit more tricky. I want to use Lileep for Toxic so that I can get some damage going, and then switch into Wobbuffet to use Counter and KO Rigoroth on the spot. Toxic was important because for some reason all of the opposing attacks were just a bit shy of a counter KO in return. Norman's Ace Larking is here, and this is the most important part. I switch into Lileep to set up Toxic and immediately go down. Or at least the next time Larking is able to move. Then Marshtomp comes back in and I use Dig as often as possible, being underground while Larking is able to attack and above ground in the Truant turn. It is possible to lose because of counter, but Larking only used it once. Toxic stacks up real high, and after both Hyper Potion and Citrus Berry were used, Larking goes down. Last Pokemon is Linoon, and a lot of stuff could happen, but I just go underground with Dig, while Belly Drum removes half of Linoon's HP, and when I hit, the normal type is defeated in one clean hit. Norman is out of Pokemon and I am victorious. While battling Norman, Marshtomp reached level 36 and can evolve into its final form, Swampert. That Pokemon is so good, I love it. I used it back in the day when I first received Sapphire version to play through this region for the first time, and I love it ever since. And I not only get HM for Surf, but can use it outside of battle now to explore the eastern part of Pokemon Emerald. But with the ability to use Surf, I can check out the abandoned ship for the TM13 Ice Beam, easily one of the best moves in the game. After stopping the generator in New Morville City, I received the TM24 Thunderbolt from Watson, the gym leader. I cannot use it yet, but will be able to very shortly. On the way to the next gym is the weather station, and it is occupied by Team Aqua of all people. I beat up Shelly, the Aqua admin, and since it was such a heroic action, I received Castform as a gift. To be honest, this Pokemon always seemed quite bad, but I think I can make it work in this run. After leveling up for a bit and of course training in the most important stats, I have to fight May once more. I actually want to use a lot of Castform now, and this is one of those battles even though Swampert could easily destroy her. First is Magma against my Castform. I used Thunderbolt twice to KO while Harden was used, quite useless since I tried to be a special attacker. Next is Grovyle, but I want to switch out into Wobbuffet and see that Leaf Blade did good damage. Keep in mind, grass is special in this game, so Mirror Coat was used to defeat the opponent's ace in one hit. Last is Lombre, and I want to activate Encore, so it is trapped into just one move, in this case Absorb, and then switch out into Lileep to slowly but surely win with Secret Power. Well, it's 2 hits because of a critical hit. May is defeated, and for that very hard battle I get the HM for Fly as a gift. Very nice of her. The next gym leader is Wynaut, basing her team on flying types. Fortree City is quite interesting, but this battle was perfect to show the power of Castform. First is Swablu. I use Hail to change Castforms and Weather Ball's type to Ice. One move and Swablu is defeated. Next is Skamri, and I use another Frosty Ball, but it does not a lot of damage, while Steel Wing nearly destroyed Castform. That was a lot of damage. Citrus Berry brings some back, and one Thunderbolt KOs the Steel Bird. Against Tropius, all I have to do is throw in another ball because of the double weakness. Pelipper comes next, and it is the perfect turn number to activate Hail again, but Supersonic could be an issue. Maybe I should have used Persianberry instead of a Citrus Berry, but it is what it is. In the end, Castform snaps out without hurting itself, and Pelipper is defeated. Last is Altaria, but I'm faster having a plus speed nature, and the Flying Dragon goes down in one hit. Wynaut is defeated, and Castform showed its true potential. Receiving this badge allows me to use Fly outside of battle, making traveling a lot faster. At the top of Mount Pyre is Team Aqua stealing the orb to awaken one of the legendary Pokémon of this game. I need to do a lot now to face the leader of the villainous team, and one of those things is the Magma emblem to reach the Magma hideout. But before that, in Lily Cove City is the department store with very strong TMs, but for me to enter it, I have to beat the rival male once more. The last time for this run. Castform is able to beat her all on its own, just using the correct weather on each Pokemon and then Weather Ball to KO. Only against the Pelipper I use Thunderbolt, since it's already 2 times super effective, and that's it. May is defeated, and I will see her in the next Ruby, Sapphire or Emerald Pokemon Challenge. Now back to the main plot of the game. Maxie wants to revive Groudon, and Groudon is let loose to destroy the Pokemon world. Of course I cannot have it, and we battle. The battle was something. I started Castform against my Diana. First setting up Rain, while Scary Face might be very annoying later on. One Weather Ball under Rain is enough to KO the Dark type dog. Next is Crobat, and I wasn't sure if Weather Ball or Thunderbolt deals more damage, and I'm actually too lazy to look it up. It ends in a long back and forth. The one Confuse Ray was negated by Persianberry, but in the end Crobat used up all the potions and went down. Last is Camerupt. I need to set up Rain again and then proceed to use Weather Ball, which is double super effective, to KO the Fire Ground type even with Amnesia set up. Maxie is defeated, but Groudon is already on its way to Sootopolis City. I also have to stop Team Aqua because they want to awaken the other legendary Pokemon. So right in front of my eyes they were able to steal a submarine. To this day I'm not even sure if that's possible, considering how many people are needed to even drive or dive with it. Inside Team Aqua's hideout are a lot of grunts trying to stop me, and unfortunately it worked out. Which means I have no choice but to get the next badge at Moss Teep Gym first and see what happens. Tate and Liza are the best known double battle gym leader, and they base their team on psychic types. I have a very good strategy this time, and that is Swampert with Surf while Castform sets up Rain. I know, that's crazy. I promised this battle was quite easy thanks to Swampert Surf and the backup of Lileep with Confuse Ray, Toxic and wobbuffet. I believe Tate and Liza cannot beat wobbuffet at all, but 1 or 2 great critical hits made this battle a lot easier. I'm not complaining, I take the win and move on. The double team gym leaders are defeated, and I am allowed to use Dive outside of battle, but I don't even have the HM yet. At the Moss Deep Space Center is Team Magma again, and this time it's a multi-battle with Steven on my side, the Steel-type trainer. He seems to be quite okay at battling, but Swampert managed to KO most of the team with Surf and Ice Beam. And when that's done, Magma vows to never be evil again and help me stop Team Aqua before it's too late. Steven was so impressed by my extraordinary skill using Pokemon which I only got as a gift, he gives me the HM for Dive. At the bottom of the ocean is an entrance which also has a submarine parked. After venturing deep inside the cave, I find Archie, the leader of Team Aqua, and we battle right before the legendary Pokémon. Starting with Castform against my Diana, setting up Rain while Swagger is used. I have a Person Berry, but always needed 2 turns for the first damage is a bit hard to do, but the payoff is quite nice. Nexus Crobat and Confuse Ray removes 1 turn, while I just need to consistently hit with Thunderbolt because Archie only has Super Potion at this point in the game. After 2 hits, Crobat goes down. Last is Archie's Ace Sharpedo, and all it took is 1 Thunderbolt, and the Water Dark type is out of HP. Archie is defeated, and I thought I stopped him from reviving Kyogre, but he goes through anyway as if the battle meant nothing to him. Arriving at Sootopolis City, I talk with Wallace, who has the answer to all these issues. At the top of Spear Pillar is another legendary Pokémon, and that one is able to beat Groudon and Kyogre. Basically beating fire with fire, or in this case legendary with another legendary. With that done, it's over. The story of Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald has concluded. But I still need to beat the gym and the entire Elite Four. So let's start with the one in Sootopolis City. The last gym leader is Juan, the water type trainer. His team is actually quite good, but unfortunately for him, I have the answers all ready to go. He starts with Loftus and I with Castform. 1 Thunderbolt hits and KOs, without being a critical hit. Next is Viscash, and I have to switch out into Lileep. Amnesia was not something I like to see, considering I have Giga Drain ready, so I set up Toxic and Confuse Ray, and then proceed to deal some damage to KO Viscash that way instead. Against Celio I switch back into Castform. Thanks to Rain I can reduce Aurora Beam's damage, but it was just that 1 turn. Castform's Thunderbolt doesn't KO in 1 go, but it's good enough to beat Celio easily, even when Water Pulse did a lot of damage. No Groudon, however, I can just push damage once into it and then go down against any damaging move. Bringing in Lileep again, and Giga Drain helps out quite a lot here to beat the Water Dark type Pokémon. It was great. Last is Juan's Ace Kingdra, and 1 Ice Beam KOs Lileep quite cleanly. I bring in wobbuffet now, the best Pokémon in my team it seems, at least it has the best record. Miracle just barely doesn't KO, but I have no other way to go into this battle. Rest with Chesterberry and then double team looks dangerous, but Kingdra cannot handle the waiting and goes for another Ice Beam, but this time Miracle is good enough to KO Kingdra. Juan is defeated and I receive the 8th and final badge of the run. All that's left to do is go to the Victory Road and knock on the door of the Elite Four. But before I can face the final challenge, I have to beat up the second rival Wally. Since May dropped out of the race to champion, he is still here and we battle. He starts with Altaria and I go with Swampert. Aerial Ace did a lot of damage, but Ice Beam nearly KOs. First full restore is used here and another beam brings it into KO range. Safeguard was used, but it should be fine for me. Next is Roselia and I switch into Castform, tanking Giga Drain. I set up Hail and then proceed to KO with Weather Ball while Leech Seed was used. I hope it works out. Delcatty comes next and 1 Weather Ball does not KO, but Feint Attack does let me continue. Another attack and Delcatty is defeated too. Against Magneton I switch into Swampert. Maybe Castform can still do something here. Tanking Tri-Attack while Swampert digs underground and gets the KO easily with 4 times super effective damage. Last is Gardevoir, and this is a real problem. Future Sight setup while Surf doesn't deal a lot, and then Psychic for the KO. I choose Castform next and use 1 Thunderbolt hoping for paralysis maybe, but it didn't matter and Castform goes down as well. Lileep is good against Gardevoir, but not with Future Sight damage, and then immediately getting destroyed by another Psychic. My last hope is called Wobbuffet, and it seems like I will lose. Gardevoir tries to use any move besides Psychic. It looks bad, but there's nothing I can do, but for some reason Gardevoir decided to jump the gun and use a Psychic, which I survive and then hit back with Mirror Code, defeating Gardevoir. Wally's defeated and that's it. Next stop, Elite Four. While setting up the team for the Elite Four, Lileep learns Engine Power on 43, a little bit later than it evolves, but it is now ready to evolve into its final form cradily. This Pokemon gave me so much trouble in the opposing team. Let's see if I can use it too. I tried Elite Four at level 45. I know this won't be enough for the champion, but it could be fine against the 4 trainers in front of him. I could imagine the first and last Elite Four member to be the weakest ones for my team, but let's find out. The first Elite Four member is Sydney, and that is actually quite interesting. It is a dark type trainer, but I don't have any moves that interacted with it at all. First is my Diana against Castform. As usual, I want to use a weather condition first. I decided for rain. Double Edge did a lot of damage, way too much for my taste, but one weather ball did KO easily. Next is Cacturn, and I need to use Hail now, removing my water typing so that Needle Arm isn't super effective anymore and I survive it. One weather ball now as an ice type attack hits and KOs from full HP. Now comes Sydney's Ace Absol. I just continue with the damage, but it's quite clear that Castform won't make it, going down immediately to Rock Slide. I bring in Swampert, Surf hits and KOs after Hail and Citrus Berry. Swamperts are just amazing. Is it the best water type starter? But it looks bleak against Shiftry, until I realize it doesn't even have a grass type attack. Swagger, Torment and Double Team are very hard to beat moves. All Swampert needs to do is hit with 2 Ice Beam. That's it. I don't need anything more than that. And after a long grind, I actually managed to hit it. Last Crawdon, and thanks to the Swagger earlier, Secret Power does decent damage, but seeing Dig still on Swampert, I wonder why it isn't Earthquake yet. I will change it directly after this battle. Sydney is defeated and the first Elite Four member is out. The next battle is against Phoebe, and that is super hard to do because of the first Dusclops. But it will become clear once the battle starts. I go with Cradily against it. It has pressure and my moves has a low amount of PPs. For example, Ancient Power and Giga Drain both have 5 PPs. The idea was to use Toxic and then Confuse Ray to have it perfectly go down before the first full restore is used, but I failed and the healing item came to use. So strategy again from the start, but this burns additional PPs. In the end, I am able to win against the first Pokemon of Phoebe, just barely. Next is the second one, and I just go for Toxic and then Confuse Ray, but it doesn't really work out as perfectly as I wanted it to be. Or does it? Actually, I was able to KO the Dusclops in the same turn. Cradily goes down, bringing in Castform as a perfect start to the last Pokemon. Banette is here and I go for Rain Dance. It's super dangerous because Phoebe has 2 Banette and I cannot see which one it is. One has Thunderbolt and would easily KO me from this point, but I use one Weather Ball and KO from full HP thanks to a crit. Now comes the second Banette and I KO again with a critical hit. That was so lucky. Last is Sableye and I went for damage, but it survived barely for the last full restore. I have one more turn of rain and go for more damage. It is very low and has double team up, so I use Hail to make sure I will win, but not sure if it's Castform or not. But the Thunderbolt right afterwards connects, defeating Sableye. Phoebe is out of Pokemon and it was a long grind, but it's okay sometimes. The next Elite Four member is Glacier, who specializes in Ice-type Pokemon, even though she only has 2 different Pokemon lines in her team. It is quite luck dependent to beat her. She starts with Celio and I start with Castform. The main strategy was simple. I want to burn 1 full restore with Thunder and have Rain up. That is everything I wanted. It takes a long time because Celio wants to restore Hail, but after some back and forth, I managed to come out on top while Rain was up. Next is Glalie, but one Weather Ball critical hit KO'd it, very lucky for me. The second Celio is quite similar to the first one, just want to keep Rain up and maybe burn a full restore. It's a bit faster since I started with this fight with Rain and the Celio goes down. Second Glalie comes in and Weather Ball does more than half, while Hail removes the rain. Nothing I can do here anymore, just hoping that Thunder hits a lot. First hit and Glalie is down. Glacier's Ace Warring comes in and I hit with another Thunder that was absolutely amazing. Now bringing in Cradily and hope to put Warring into KO range for Swampert using Giga Drain. Ice Beam deals way too much damage, but it worked out perfectly before Cradily comes back to the Pokeball. I bring in Swampert now and press an Earthquake to hit and KO Warring. Glacier is out of Pokemon and only 1 Elite Four member is left to defeat. Last member of the Elite Four is Drake. As the name suggests, she's based on Dragon types, which is amazing for Castform. First a Shelgon and I use Hail in a Protect turn and then Weather Ball to KO while it is an Ice type attack. Next a Flygon and I'm faster to KO with another ball being double, super effective. Now against Drake's Ace Salamence. I was scared to being slower, but I wasn't and it was an easy KO. Altaria is Dragon and Flying, so Weather Ball is double, super effective again. Last Pokemon is Kingdra and Hail stops, so I reactivate Hail and then saw Weather Ball deal about half. I use another one and Kingdra goes down. Drake lost to only Castform and the Elite Four is defeated. The champion is on a whole other level. I could go through all the reasons why I lose this battle, but in the end I was never able to see Milotic or Gyarados at all. I feel like I have not enough damage, not enough defense, and not enough Pokemon to push through his team. I level up a bit more and see how far I can go. Wallace is his name, and he starts with Wynaut against my Castform. It's very important to hit with Thunder first to drastically reduce the damage of Water Sprout. I got unlucky and the second one missed, taking a bit of extra damage, but my next Thunder hits and the first Pokemon is defeated. Next is Tentacruel and I switch into Swampert, the only Pokemon who can beat Tentacruel reliably. Earthquake will KO from full HP, and that is what I like to see. Against Ludicolo I have to switch out into Cradily, tanking a Surf and then another one just to hit once with Sludge Bomb, and yet another Surf. Cradily barely hangs on but KOs Ludicolo in the end. Wallace's ace Milotic is insanely strong, but I have the winning strategy with wobbuffet. Just seeing Surf and then Mirror Coat to KO from full is just amazing. One of the final Pokemon is Whiscash and I made a huge error. I see Amnesia but didn't use Encore. In the end it didn't matter, I was able to use Destiny Bond just before Whiscash was able to KO me, just to defeat itself as well. Last Pokemon of the champion is Gyarados, but I have Castform still in my team to use one Thunder and KO the Water Flying type easily. Wallace is out of Pokemon and I am the new champion, but the run is not done yet. I have still one final battle left to do and also some more teammates to find. I chose the Root Fossil at the Mirage Tower and the Claw Fossil vanished in the sand, but reappeared in the underground cave which is accessible west of Felibert town. After resurrecting it, I receive Anorith, the Bug and Rock type Pokemon. At Moss Deep City, in Steven's house is a Beldum just waiting for me, and I add it to the team as well. No, just evolving everyone, Anorith evolves into a armaldo. Very strong Pokemon. Should be a huge asset for the final battle. Beldum evolves into Metang, which is already a nice upgrade, but not the final one. Metang has the ability to evolve into Metagross, the nearly legendary Pokemon of this region. It is incredibly strong. The final boss battle of this Pokemon challenge in Emerald is Steven. He was once a Steel type trainer, but is now just good stuff all around. His team is very strong and I went so far down as 15 levels below his team. Let's see how far I can go. First is Gummery against my Castform. I use Thunder to deal an insane amount of damage and then Rain Dance to change my type to Water, easily blocking Steel Wing just to have a 100% accuracy Thunder to KO. Next is Aggron for some reason, but Weather Ball is now a Water type attack and Aggron is defeated in one hit. Against Cradily I just push for some damage while Giga Drain hits back to KO Castform. That leaves no other choice but to use Metagross now. Let's use this monster of a Pokemon and set up Agility first just to remove confusion with Persian Berry and then destroy Cradily with Meteor Mash. Next is Claydol and I have Shadow Ball ready to dish out damage. A second one is enough to KO. Light Screen doesn't work on ghost types, it's physical in this game. Steven's ace Metagross is here and while my Shadow Ball deals nearly no damage, the opposing Earthquake defeats me easily, but that's all I need to bring in Wobbuffet now. This is a true terror Pokemon. Tanking Shadow Ball just barely and hit back with full counter to KO Metagross multiple times over. Last is Armaldo, but nobody escapes Wobbuffet, using Destiny Bond to KO Armaldo if Wobbuffet goes down, and that's exactly what happened. This is it. Steven is out of Pokemon, the former champion is done, making me and my gift Pokemon the new champion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or advice, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next one.